Hello students, now today we will study the norma lateralis, that is skull seen from lateral view. Now here bones forming this norma lateralis, these are parietal bone, frontal bone, temporal bone, sphenoid bone, zygomatic, maxilla, nasal bone, mandible and occipital. So these are the bones forming this norma lateralis. Now sutures seen in the norma lateralis, this is the coronal suture, this is parieto-squamous suture. Again you can see this is zygomatico-temporal suture. This is fronto-zygomatic suture. Then you can see this naso-maxillary suture as well as part of this zygomatico-maxillary suture. Posteriorly you can see lambdoid suture, occipito-mastoid suture. Now we will see features of this norma. Here temporal line, it starts from frontal process of zygomatic bone, it arches backward and upward, it crosses frontal bone, on reaching parietal bone it splits into two lines, superior temporal line and inferior temporal line. Superior temporal line fades away while inferior temporal line continues on the parietal bone and then it curves anteriorly downward to continue with the supramastoid crest. So this is the inferior temporal line. Superior temporal line fades away. Now below this region, this is now the temporal fossa, which is bounded here by superior temporal line and below by this zygomatic arch. Now this zygomatic arch is a horizontal bony bar which is having this upper border, lower border, outer surface and inner surface. This zygomatic arch is formed in posterior 1/3 by the zygomatic process of temporal bone, and anterior 1/3 it is formed by temporal process of zygomatic bone, and at the junction of these two processes there is this temporo-zygomatic suture, or you can say zygomatico-temporal suture. So this is zygomatic arch. Now posteriorly upper border of this zygomatic bar arch, it continues with the suprameatal crest, and anteriorly it here this point is known as jugal point. Inferior border of this zygomatic bar, here you can see there is a tubercle. This is the tubercle of root of zygoma. From this tubercle of root of zygoma, two processes or two roots extend. One is this anterior root and one is this posterior root. This anterior root, it is forming anterior boundary of this mandibular fossa, while posterior root, it forms lateral boundary of mandibular fossa. This is the mandibular fossa which articulate with the head of the mandible. So this is the mandibular fossa. Now behind this you can see there is this external acoustic meatus. This external acoustic meatus, its anterior wall and floor and part of posterior wall, it is formed by tympanic plate of temporal bone. So this is tympanic plate of temporal bone, while posterior wall roof These are formed by the squamous part of temporal bone. So this is external acoustic meatus. Now posterior-superior to this external acoustic meatus, you can see this depression is there, which is triangular in shape. This is formed by superiorly bounded by supramastoid crest, anteriorly by the posterior-superior margin of external acoustic meatus, and posteriorly a tangent passing from posterior margin of external acoustic meatus, which also touches the supramastoid crest. So this is the suprameatal triangle, also known as McEwan's triangle. This McEwan's triangle, deep to this, around 12 millimeter deep to it, there lies mastoid air cells. So this is McEwan's triangle. Posterior to it, you can see this is mastoid process. This develops by 2 years of age. Then anteromedial to the mastoid process, there is a long process. Usually it's long, but here it is broken. This is the styloid process. This styloid, between styloid process and mastoid process, you can see stylomastoid foramen, which transmits 7th cranial nerve along with the stylomastoid artery, which is a branch of posterior auricular artery. So this is stylomastoid foramen between mastoid process and styloid process. Then this is the temporal fossa. This temporal fossa, in the floor of it, you can see this H-shaped suture. This is pterion. This pterion you can locate by putting a thumb behind this zygomatic bone and 2 fingers above this zygomatic arch. And the angle between the upper finger and the thumb, it indicates the position of the pterion. The importance of pterion we will see in the next video. So this is the pterion, and we can locate it by this Stiles method. Now behind this is pterion, which indicates anterolateral fontanelle, while posteriorly here there is the asterion, that is the site of posterolateral or mastoid fontanelle. Now here this temporal fossa, it communicates with the infratemporal fossa, which is bounded medially by lateral plate of lateral pterygoid plate, and medially by the ramus of mandible. So here the pencil tip is now in the infratemporal fossa. Again this infratemporal fossa, it communicates with the pterygopalatine fossa, which is lying deep to this pterygomaxillary fissure. So this is about this norma. Thank you.